Hey, how's everybody doing? Brother Phil here. I thought I would come on and share a word with you guys. Before I start giving final warnings, real final warnings, and encouragements, I got a few more videos to go before I'm done. So, first of all, you have to read the Bible to find out, how to be saved and how to be truly saved. And you got to read the Bible throughout the years to find out how to live a Christian life and how to grow. And you got to go to the Bible to find out what's going to happen in the future. So anyway, the Word of God is your source of information. We try to tie what's happening. We try to tie the Bible to what's happening instead of what's happening to the Bible. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to give you some advice. We've been doing this for years, and I'm guilty as well. Donald Trump is not the Antichrist. If you have a world leader on the scene and you think he's an Antichrist, drop it. The Antichrist is different from all world leaders that ever came to the scene. Matter of fact, the Antichrist is a combination of world leaders. He's not just one person. He's not just, put it this way, the Antichrist will come on the world like a meteor. He'll come on the world and the world will love him. If he's been on the scene for 10 minutes, effective before the rapture, he's not the Antichrist. So, well, I'll take that back. He could have showed up in September, early September sometime, and we wouldn't still know who he is. So anybody tell you they know who the Antichrist is, they're lying. Unless God showed him a vision of that person, but didn't tell you the name, didn't tell that person the name. Other than that, he's not a current leader, and it's easy to prove. Like I tell y'all all the time on my videos, I use common sense. I use the Bible, but I use common sense as well. If the world is mesmerized by this individual, name one leader that currently the world is mesmerized by right now. And the Bible says that if you know who the Antichrist is, that means you opened the seal. And I'm guilty of it too. That means you're already opened the seal. See, if the devil can cause confusion, if you notice that the Antichrist comes when the first seal is open, he has a bow with no arrow. It's an individual person that the seal, when it's broken, who's the only one can open the seal? So I'm asking you guys, please tell me, because if you answer that question the wrong way, then I'm not going to listen to you. Donald Trump's not the Antichrist. Even if it looks like he's the Antichrist, he's not. What do you think deception means? Maybe he's jockeying for that position, but he's not the Antichrist. Maybe that's why he put up the statues, because he wants that position. He know they were looking for a world leader. Listen, folks, the Antichrist is a pretty boy. I ain't saying Donald Trump is good looking, but the Antichrist is a person you've never seen on the scene before. He's not known at all. He's the X in a math problem. Have you ever had trigonometry or calculus or even basic math? When they say the X number or the A or whatever the alphabet is to solve the problem, that's the Antichrist. You don't know who he is. If you know who he is, you left behind. Or God gave you a sneak peek. And right now, if the rapture did happen in 3 days, he's not giving you a sneak peek. So listen. I'm not a person who can hold multiple people. I can hold multiple people, but I'm not a person who tries to hold multiple people. My talent is to have people fleece off. And what I mean by that, I don't mean it in a mean way. I mean, I tell you the truth. I tell you things people don't want to tell you. There's not one world leader that's the Antichrist right now. Not one. Let me tell you where the Antichrist is coming from. Okay, and it's not my opinion. I'm going by the Bible. The Bible calls him in Isaiah, Malachi, and a few other books, calls him the Assyrian. Okay, I use pure, this is when my common sense pops in. The only nation that will come out of the Assyrian Empire that I can see right now that the Antichrist will come out of is right in your face. As a matter of fact, in about a couple of weeks from here, Damascus would be taken out. Probably the leader that's there now would probably be killed, and he'd be replaced by the Antichrist. Trust me, the elite isn't. Donald Trump's been the president already. I mean, why would he be the Antichrist? Y'all don't understand the power of persuasion, do y'all? Do y'all? I mean, I don't even understand it sometimes. But the Antichrist will be a really good looking. They already learned from Adolf Hitler. We need somebody who looks really good, packaged well, can speak well, look like he can be on the cover of a GQ magazine, the young GQ magazine, or the older gentleman. I don't know his age. His age is going to be anywhere from 30 to 60. I'm just guessing. Allow me to guess. He'll be from Syria. He'll be the next king, president, prime minister, whatever Syria decides to do. They called him the prince that shall come, so he may be a prince. They might. I asked Chat, will Syria ever bring back the monarch? She says no, but I'm looking for wrong answers to come out of Syria pretty soon. And I think, out of Syria, out of Chat. I asked Chad a question the other day. Maybe I just asked it wrong, but it gave me a wrong answer, and I knew it was the wrong answer. So pretty soon, Chat's going to start giving you wrong answers. But for right now, I use Chat because it's much smarter than Google, and is able to go and fish out the information better than trying to search it in the library, because library ain't gonna give you crap. Okay, so here, this is how the Antichrist comes to the scene. Okay, in about 3 weeks, he'll come to the scene. Actually, about 2 weeks after the rapture of the church, if it's this year, he'll come to the scene. Sometime in the middle of Tabernacles, I'm guessing he'll sign a peace deal. So everybody is on TikTok saying, "Oh, the confirming of the covenant, the confirming of the covenant." Not listen, and let me say this in a nice way. They're not looking at the Bible at all. We getting caught with our emotions, because I get caught with my emotions. When we get caught up with our emotions, anything pops up, we go, "Oh, this is it." No. The Bible says that the Antichrist comes to confirm or strengthen a covenant. Now, just because the newspaper says, okay, more nations have come on board, is strengthened, or we are strengthening the covenant because more nations are voting against Israel, that's not strengthening anything. So they're going to sign a deal, some type of deal, between Feast of Trumpets and, if it's this year, Feast of Trumpets and the first couple of days after that. It doesn't have to be on the Feast of Trumpets. All they're saying is peace and safety. That's it. When they shall say peace and safety. So I'm going on TikTok and I'm listening to people, and they're like double downing on, "Oh, how dare you tell me the Antichrist is not there on the 35th. He's not. Antichrist is nowhere to be seen when they sign that peace deal. They don't need the Antichrist to confirm it. Well, not right away. They sign a peace deal. It has no number to it. It doesn't have 7 years to it. It doesn't have the backing. It might have the temple in there. I don't know. But the Antichrist is the one that's going to build the temple. So on the 22nd, only thing they're going to do is vote against Israel and probably sign that pact. But they're not doing anything else further until they discuss security perimeters, and they're going to be saying peace and safety. So Netanyahu comes to the White House early on, and then he speaks on the 26th. Folks, the Antichrist will not show up until probably early October, if that, or sometime during Tabernacles. Because because I used to think, Well, there's a possibility whatever year whatever year the tribulation period starts, in September, the Feast of Trumpets will be either September, late September, or middle September, late, early October. Okay, I was saying, at one point, I was saying that wars can build up before that, and then the rapture happens with Ezekiel 38 and 39, and then everything else transpired. But then I said this last year, I said, there's a possibility that nothing happens until after the rapture. Not one thing. The only thing will be happening is meetings in the UN, peace and safety. Okay? I know people don't like that because they maybe I'm mixing people up. So nothing will happen until the rapture is the first thing to happen. Boom. That's why it's a trap. That's why Luke 21, Jesus says, like a snare or like a trap should have come upon all those who dwell upon the earth. So that means that the rapture, the day of the Lord starts, and then judgment comes after that, right after that. So they can sign this peace deal, they can sign this pact. They just won't have the Antichrist enforcing it yet. And it's not even about the pact. It's about just the thought. We'll say when they still say peace and safety, just the thought of dividing Jerusalem brings judgment. So when that judgment comes, it's going to come in the form of wars, famines, pestilences. It's going to come in the form of national disasters. That's what he says, sudden destruction. But what's happening is all the wars that's in the Bible from Psalms 83, Jeremiah 49, Isaiah 17, Ezekiel 38 and 39, all happens after the rapture in a certain order. So the Antichrist comes out of when Damascus is blown up. Then you'll start to see him surface if you're still here. He would be the next leader of Syria. So people think he's coming. Why would the Antichrist come out of a place that was only 200 some years old? They have no history. I mean, I know we're tied sort of to the merchants of Tarsus and its cubs, and they're tied to the Roman Empire. But man, you got to really go deep. You got to dig deep to get America to be even to be Babylon. I think trying to get America to be Babylon is because we were so blessed, and America has been so powerful for so long. We can't imagine America declining. So we put it on CPR. We put it on life support system by saying it's Babylon. I don't think it's Babylon. Even with the UN being, it has a Babylonian system, and it also has a Roman system and a Greek system. I mean, we're a combination of all the empires, not just Babylon. And Babylon is probably, you could say Babylon is a concentration of all the empires. So maybe spiritually we are Babylon. But I think every nation's Babylon in a way. It's just like say we are all Charlie Kirk. We're all Babylon. Every nation is Babylon, man, I swear. Every nation has this confusion. That's what Babylon stands for, confusion. So Antichrist comes from the Mediterranean Union that does not form until after World War III. Or slightly before World War III. This organization will come out of the Middle East, Europe, and Northern Africa. It will be the revived Roman Empire. And the Antichrist subdues 3 of the first 10, meaning he takes over the Middle Eastern region. Trust me, these guys know exactly what they're doing. The elite knows exactly what they're doing. That's why the Sharia law and all this other stuff is popping up. I don't think the Antichrist is going to be Muslim. I think that's why he gets shot in the middle of the tribulation period, because he turns anything they do simple will make them out of a target, because those religions want you to go dress right, and the Antichrist goes against what that religion is. So I'm thinking if he comes out a Muslim or comes out Islamic, he's not going to hold it for long. He's probably going to be more of a neutralist. He's going to be a Satanist worshiper. So he can't be Islamic unless Allah is, and I'm trying to be careful when I say that, because I don't even want to get taken off YouTube. Allah could be considered Satan. I mean, I'm just saying, just work with me here. And that's how it breaks it down, you know. Not necessarily that he's worshiping Satan. He could be worshiping another religious god, and that person's hiding behind Satan. You know, so I'm gonna say this once again: Donald Trump is not the Antichrist. I'm gonna say it again. Neither is his doggone son-in-law. Neither is Barack Obama. Neither is the friend. I know these guys are jockeying for leadership. Maybe the elite told them, if you can bring peace, then we'll let you be the leader. But they're lying to them. They're lying. They're lying to the world leaders, saying you jockey. Whoever can bring peace the first. You never know what games they're playing. Whoever can bring peace, you can be the leader. But then they psych. We got another guy over here that's going to be the leader. He's younger and prettier. He's a good-looking guy. He's tougher. He's smart. The Bible calls the Antichrist the king of fierce features. Now, before you read into that, just use your common sense. Fierce features. If you looked at a guy that had fierce features, I'm thinking of a mafia leader that talks like this, and he good-looking guy, hair slicked back, green eyes, tan, perfect tan, character lines, look like he the boss. Have you ever seen a mafia leader look like he the boss? Good-looking guy. Go back, if he's going to be older, go back and look at Juan Carlos of Spain's younger pictures when he's about in his 40s. Good-looking guy. Look at Sean Connery. Sean Connery is a good-looking guy. If you're any of your old books know Sean Connery, used to play on 007 with the perfect tan, good-looking guy, hair slicked back, has a good voice. I always thought that he would make a good Antichrist if they ever made a movie. You know, when he was younger, even when he's older, in his 50s and 60s, he's a good-looking guy. The Antichrist is not going to be just any flippant leader that the devil's going to bring his best this time. Remember, he's the last world leader. Why would he have somebody that's been on the scene for 4, 5, 6 years? He's going to bring somebody who hasn't been on the scene, who hit the world like a meteorite. Yeah, I'm guessing that practice one was the one that they just didn't want to go to war. You saw what happened on October 7th. So Israel's always been smart about what they're doing. Now, I think God's going to take their wisdom away, though, during the tribulation period, because they're going to start making some critical mistakes. But as far as I know, Israel's really smart people. They're Mossad, their government. Really smart. We're smart too, but I think some of our smartness is tied up in the politics. But they're pretty smart. You can tell they're gifted by God to come up with a lot of, I think they even created television. So they're not dumb at all. They smart people. So anyway, so I believe that the Antichrist is not, as a matter of fact, if you go in order of the beast rising, the beast that comes out of the sea is the Antichrist, and the beast that comes out of the earth is the false prophet. Everybody's saying, well, they got American false prophet. No, he's not the false prophet. You got to go in order. He says, I looked and I behold the first beast that comes up, and he came out of the sea. That's the Antichrist. And he says, and I behold another beast came who had he looked like a lamb in a wolf's suit, and he has 2 horns, and he's the false prophet. He comes out of the earth, so I believe he'll be Jewish, or out of the state of Jew. When they were trying to pick a pope, they had mentioned this Jewish guy, a couple of Jewish guys. So I believe one of those guys that was not picked to be the pope, that unless he's younger, I think he's going to be the false prophet. So the Antichrist comes from the Middle East. He'll be Assyrian, and he'll be Americanized, though. I think he'll be more of American type of like his voice and more westernized. That's why he'd be easy to buy. Now, the reason why Israel, not all Israel is going to fall for this guy. So everybody keeps talking about, oh, Israel's not going to. Well, he's probably going to be half Jew and then half Samaritan, or half. But the Bible doesn't say that. So we're going to have to stick with the Bible. So we'll say that he is from Samaria or somewhere in that area. And maybe he's Jewish in practice. I don't know. Maybe his parents were Jew. I don't know. Maybe his bloodline is Jew. But I don't see how they go. I don't really think the Bible even says they all work. I think some people are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs anyway. That will probably accept him as God. Period. I mean, they can have atheist like mentality, like Christians have. Some people in the Christian realm have the New Age type of Christianity, and maybe that's what happens to some of the Jewish people. Maybe they're not messianic, because if they're messianic, then they'll believe in Jesus. So maybe they just think, he's acceptable as long as he brings peace. I don't know. Maybe that's how ignorant people turn out to be. Yeah, but I see why we have to take a break from the internet, because the internet, people are getting worse and worse. I went on TikTok and people are just saying some of the darndest thing. That thing when they say kids say the darndest things? Well, people are saying the darndest things right now. I mean, I'm just scooting along, and I can't help but listen to some people's stuff. And especially the scoffers and the mockers. They're like, I'll be here on the 25th, and yeah, you will be here. I mean, that's a true statement. If the rapture happens or not, you're gonna be here. You definitely gonna be here, even if it happens. That's kind of mean, Phil. That's mean. They're gonna be here. I mean, if you rejecting the rapture, you're gonna be here. So every time somebody says, I'll see you guys on the 25th, good riddance. Because if it happens, then yeah, you're guaranteed what Joshua say, 1 billion%. Yeah, 1 billion%. That person's going to be here when they open up their mouth and say, "I'll see you guys on the 20th." You won't see us though. You won't see true Christians. You might see some other people. I mean, it's just all the scoffing and stuff. No wonder why we should take a break from being online. Just take a break. Just go and make your videos or whatever you're gonna do. Watch your little encouragement from other brothers and sisters, and then turn your internet off, because the Bible. Jesus didn't say don't let nobody steal your crown for nothing. I mean, what sensitivity could somebody steal your crown? I mean, if they make you angry, if they make you want to cry, if they make you blink the wrong way. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, how solid do you have to be in your conviction that the rapture is going to happen? I mean, could you be left behind because you're sort of doubtful? I'm doubtful a little bit. Because I'm doubtful because we never been anywhere else, and it's too good to be true. It's like hitting the lottery. I mean, to me, it's like, wow. I mean, if you see all these new people that made their YouTube channels and they only got like 200, 350 subscribers. I mean, imagine, I said this a long time, man. I said this 30 years ago. I would love to be just getting saved like a month before the rapture. And it doesn't make a big deal because it doesn't matter, because Jesus gave a parable. He says, if a person comes to work at 3 a.m., 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 12 a.m., or 12 p.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m., 12 a.m., and they all come to get their pay, they all get the same pay. And they come up to him and say, well, haven't we these people been here, we've been here longer than these people. Why are they getting more of a pay? I don't even think about that, man. I don't think that way. I'm cool. I mean, I don't care who get paid. I'm just, as long as I make it in the rapture, I'm good. Yeah, I just take a break, man, because I get, like, even conspiratorial stuff. I took a break on that a long time ago. Trust me, I've been researching conspiracies for a portion of my life. And God told me to let it alone. Stop watching Alex Jones, stop watching all that stuff. So I stopped watching it. But I still watch Alex Jones sometime if something happened major. Or I go to some conspiracy, like I watched the Charlie Kirk thing for a couple of days. I'm not going to lie to you. But then I say, okay, I'm done. Okay, that's enough. You know, even local news. I don't sit here and watch local news for hours on end. Like, my wife would say, turn it on the news. And I'm like, okay, I'm going. She said, okay, you can watch what you want to do. I just want to watch 5:30 news. Okay, we don't have to watch 6 o'clock news and 6:30 news, you know, the world news. And I don't want to watch, especially, you know, NBC is terrible. Well, they used to be terrible. They got cleaned it up a little bit. But anyway, look, folks, the Bible says that the Antichrist should have a look more stout than his fellows. He should have a intimidating look. The Bible is really good at telling you how people look, like Rachel or Leah or Ruth or Samson or Saul. Saul was a tall guy and he was handsome, you know, and it'll tell you this person, Leah, was hard to look at or whatever. You know, I don't know if they say that mean, but you know what I'm saying. So when the Bible says somebody's look, we need to pay attention to it. Yeah, Donald Trump's good. He was better looking when he's younger. I mean, the Antichrist is a tough-looking person. So when he's standing next to the 10 kings, he's obvious, good-looking. You know what I mean? I mean, he's not just anybody. In order for the world to love him, y'all don't understand the capacity of this wowing after this individual. They mesmerize at them. Who can make war with the beast? He's not just anybody, folks. He comes after the rapture, or he comes slightly before, but right now, if the rapture happens in 4 days, 3 days, yeah, he comes after the rapture, and he hits the world like a meteor. He just doesn't just hang around for 6 years, or Barack Obama hanging around for 12, 13 years, or Barack Obama's the answer. No, he's not. I mean, why would the devil the devil ain't that, I mean, I'm not going to speak anything good about the devil, but I don't think the devil's that stupid. He's got his last world leader, and he going to bring y'all the kahunas. He going to bring y'all the all that and a bag of chips. He bringing y'all the best leader he's ever brought. Picture Alexander the Great, Nero, put the Caesars in there, put Nebuchadnezzar in there, put Nero, whatever, the Tower of Babel guy, compact all of these, Adolf Hitler, compact all of them into one world leader. That's who you got. But you got to take the best looking guy and slap his face on there. And that's the Antichrist. Antichrist got medallions and swastikas or snakes, probably a cobra, a dragon. I mean, good-looking guy, pretty boy, Turkish flag, and just good-looking guy. Yeah, he'll lead out of Turkey. He'll lead out of Turkey before he leads out of Rome, because he's taking over the Middle Eastern sector. So how do you know he's coming out? Because Turkey was partially part of the Assyrian Empire. So he will rule. That's what the headquarters will be. Just like in the two legs. You got two legs in the book of Daniel, chapter 2. You got two legs. Constantinople was the leader for the east, and Rome was the leader for the west. So the Antichrist will subdue 3 of the first 10, which will be the Middle East. And then there's 2 in Northern Africa, and there's 5 in Europe. So yes, he'll still lead out of Europe, don't get me wrong, but he will eventually start off by ruling the 3 in the Middle East. So how do you know it's the Middle East? Because you just put common sense together. I mean, if you got Europe is much more powerful, much more bigger. It's bigger in land and bigger in power. So you're going to give Europe 5. Northern Africa comes in third, so you give him 2, and you give the Middle East 3. So he subdues 3 of the first 10. You say, well, how do you know it's not the United Nations? It's not the United Nations. Because they're trying to get rid of borders. So it has to be the old Roman Empire based off of what Daniel chapter 2, Daniel chapter 7, Revelation chapter 13 is saying. It has to be the old Roman Empire according to Daniel, right? So in Daniel chapter 11, Alexander the Great, of course, Daniel chapter 8, Alexander the Great's empire was broken up into 4 generals. And one of the generals was the Seleucid Empire, which Antiochus Epiphanes came out of the Seleucid Empire, which is called the Little Horn. So the Antichrist will be the Little Horn, just like he would be another Antiochus Epiphanes leading out of Syria. But he'll take over the Middle Eastern sector. It'd be an Ottoman Empire. It'd be a caliphate. And the Islamic faith is their Mahdi will come out of the same area. So yeah, it's on, folks. Turkey is trying to broker. Erdogan will be visiting the White House in a couple of weeks. So I don't think the Antichrist is seen until maybe the first. I think you have to get over the 10 days of awe in total. So you have to do the Feast of Trumpets, which is 2 days, and then 8 days of the Feast of Awe. And then you got the 8th day is Yom Kippur. And then judgment can fall, or war start after that, because it's giving people enough time to repent. The people who got left behind, the people of the world, to pick a side. And then once atonement finishes, then sudden destruction can come. But it might be sudden destruction right away. I don't know. It might just be right after I think there'll be a break. Give the world a chance to breathe. Give people enough chance to see. Sudden destruction doesn't mean it has to happen immediately. I mean, sudden destruction could be a week later. What's the big deal? 6,000 years of history. Sudden destruction probably come after the Day of Atonement. Reason why I say that is because he's going to give people a chance to breathe, and the governments are going to try to manipulate peace. And on Feast of Trumpets this weekend coming up tomorrow, they'd be calling for peace, and they don't need the Antichrist to be around right now. He can come around a little bit, 2 weeks from here, or a week from here. So anyway, God bless you guys. I got to go take my son to the mall so he can meet up with his friend. I'll do some more videos later on. Get this stuff off my chest. I'm probably gonna do another mocker video because I want people to stay encouraged and not listen to these doggone mockers. And then draw a parallel, folks. You didn't need Joshua. I like Joshua, but I'm gonna kind of speak against it, because I'm gonna tell you right now, all you needed was the Feast of Trumpets. You just needed somebody to come verify that we need to aim everybody, and he did exactly what Joshua was what God was trying to get Joshua to do. They did, and people were tuned in on the Feast of Trumpets. Listen, folks, you didn't need Joshua to slap a date on it. When people are on TikTok, come out, you don't need to have no date. We don't know the date. Well, if you know the date, he's not coming on that day. And then and the sad thing is they're going to be left behind. And I know a lot of y'all be like, everybody's going. No, they're not. I mean, you ain't listening to Jesus good enough if you think everybody's going. So they have a chance. It's just, I'm just saying it from the heart, man. It's just a lot of people talking crap, talking junk. And they're so sure. Yeah, because look, y'all, it's easier. Listen, it doesn't make you look like a genius to say the rapture won't happen on those days. Because if you go back 3 years ago, let's go back to 2020. Let's 2025. Let's just say 2017. Go back to 2017. It makes you look like a genius You think you look like a genius when you say, oh, it's not going to happen on 2017. You guys are crazy. You guys are... I mean, you look like a genius until you don't. You're right until you're not. So you look like a prophet until you don't. It's easy to come on here and say something you've never seen before ain't going to happen. It don't make you look. It don't make you any better than anybody else to come on here and say, "Oh, it's not happening," because I said it is. It hasn't happened yet. And I even hear people who are for, even myself, who are for. At one point, I was like, I had to wise up. Listen, folks, 6,000 years of history. You're not gonna. I mean, they're acting like. They don't understand that there's a timed event. They don't understand that God told the end from the beginning when he told y'all that God made the world in 6 days and rest on the seventh. The reason why Satan came in there and said to people, it took 1,000,000 years to make the earth, or 1,000,000,000 years to make the earth. He did that to second guess God's creation, but he also made it a process. But he came to take away God's ability to create everything in 6 days. He tried to, at least. But the main thing he did, send multiple people to hell by saying God made the world and it took 1,000,000,000 years to process, evolution, and everything came together, the Big Bang and all this stuff. So it takes pastors' eyes off the agenda. So the agenda is 6,000 years, 6 days, rested on the seventh. Likewise, he'll give the world 6,000 years and rest on the seventh. He told Noah exactly, but pastors are not listening. He said, my spirit will not always strive with man, for his time will be 120. They think it's 120 years, even though people still live to be pretty darn old after that. So you're thinking, if you tie the rest of the Bible to what he told Noah and go to Leviticus 25, 50 years times 120 is 6,000 years. Really simple, isn't it? So if I want to mess up people in the church by saying, oh, he didn't come back, y'all always looking for him to come back on the Feast of Trumpets. He's never going to come back. Why would he come back on the Feast of Trumpets any time before Israel was a nation? And why would he come back even after Israel's a nation if you can't add up 6,000 years? Because 120 times 50 is 6,000 years. So if you knew what God's schedule was, I think it's a disconnect. All the people I told y'all that the gospel is it's wrong. I mean, I know y'all want to curse me, but if the majority of the church don't know Jesus Christ is coming back, then there's a disconnect somewhere else. So I'm saying, listen, please, if the church does not know God's time clock, then the Holy Spirit is shut off. You shut him off. And he was not able to tell you, listen, I'm coming. Instead of laughing at me, laughing at my message, and laughing at my people who say he's coming back and making jokes of the Left Behind movies, and well, they might deserve it. But some of these, even the world makes end time movies. End of the world movies. Right? So anyway, I got to get going. I got to go take my son to the mall right quick. I think it'll take less than the time period that I'm allotting. But anyway, God bless you guys. Have a good day.